Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein Controls, the Brain Thoughts Broadcasting Radio, the Frankenstein Earphone Radio, the latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein Controls.
All right, you degenerates, it's time once more to thank our sponsors before tonight's edition of Frankenstein Control.
Oh, holy sponsors.
This time around, we're brought to our dwindling audience by the Disney Vault, who want everyone to know that this August they'll be releasing the fourth Free Willy movie, that's called Escape from Pirate Cove, the third film in the Balto series, as well as The Three Lives of Thomasina, also known as Pet Sematary, the First Draft. You might realize, first of all, that those first two films are from franchises not even owned or created by Disney. You might also realize, secondly, that you are completely and utterly unaware of the existence of all three titles, all of which are, in fact, real movies. This suggests to me that the Disney Vault, which is a real vault, by the way, is hidden deep in the swampy caves beneath Cinderella's castle, where old mascot suits are given Hindu cremations and where Jonathan Taylor Thomas is chained and left to slaver like an animal, is somehow able not only to completely contain all digital and physical copies of any given film in order to indefinitely bar their distribution, but also to contain the very knowledge of their creation and original release. It's believed that Walt himself laid the ancient runes upon the virgin iron that makes up the vault's walls and casing. He may have learned the mystical binding arts from time spent with famed occultist and sex magician Aleister Crowley in his youth. It's rumored that a young Disney visited Crowley for an opium-saturated debauch at his Abbey of Telema in the early 1920s. However, Disney's official biography claims he had returned to Kansas by that time. The Abbey of Telema was, of course, a weird religious center started by Crowley that was supposed to be part temple and part magical academy. So picture Hogwarts crammed inside a dank cement bunker where the students are all adult creeps who are constantly boning and taking bizarre Edwardian drugs like absinthe and horse cocaine.
So, Harry Potter fanfic.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Horse cocaine.
Anyhow, all conjecture aside, the Disney Vault does want you to know that they're releasing those films, and also Bambi. They are giving Bambi a half-hour head start, however, as is conventionally deemed sporting. So, thank you to the Disney Vault for sponsoring this episode.
You know what? And also, thank you, Disney. Thank you for the horse. This is great. This is awesome, you guys. This is our first episode we're recording on horseback.
Uh-huh. It looks a little strung out, though.
Yeah, like, so far I'm enjoying it, but I bet at work tomorrow I'm, like, really going to be feeling like the bow-legged...
Oh, you're going to get a saddle sore.
Because it's, like, stretches your tendons out in ways that they're not normally stretched, so even though it feels fine in the moment, when you're walking around the next day, you're like, fuck!
I was not meant to sit on that beast.
This is a wide horse, I gotta say. It's very wide.
You have a draft horse.
It's wide and it's long. Well, we're all on the same horse. We're all recording from... They only gave us one.
Yeah.
But it's a very large horse. And I'm very surprised it can carry all of our weight. Is that... Oh, God. Is everyone okay?
No.
Oh,
My
man.
pride is injured.
So how's the horse? Oh, that horse is very dead. I want to say, but I will say no animals were hurt in the making of this production, because this horse was dead before it hit the ground.
Well, I mean, we didn't technically hurt him if he just had a heart attack.
Yeah, if he died on his own volition, it's fine.
It's not our fault that the horse got addicted to horse cocaine. And then died from withdrawal symptoms when we refused to give him horse cocaine.
That's his fault. That's his doing.
Are you
Disney,
sure?
you gave us a coked out horse.
Are you sure he wasn't murdered by the cartel he purchased the horse cocaine from?
Oh, no.
It could have just been one of his many cocaine condoms in his rectum burst.
Oh, God, that's a horrible way for a horse to die.
Just for a horse. It's okay for a human to die that way. It's just awful for a horse, though.
Yeah, it's really, really bad.
Completely unrelated, but I am your host in the newly acquired horse skin leather coat, Taylor Russell. To my left, the man brandishing the very stylish horse tooth necklace, Adam Shipp.
And I had enough teeth after I made the necklace to make dentures, so now I can chew things like a horse.
Oh.
Make yourself a horse face mask like, what's his name, Immortan Joe from the newest fucking, I almost said Fallout movie. Mad Max.
Speaking of the star of the newest Fallout movie, he got the part by wearing his famous cloven hooves that he got just now. It's very proactive hiring. Mr. B-Rye.
I'm B-Rye. Speaking of the ancient freaky magics that we were talking about just a few minutes ago, I found out recently that I am some kind of free magic abomination called a hish. It's nice to know what you are, after wondering.
You finally
your whole
have
life.
a name for it.
Yeah.
Yep. They're apparently creatures made of pale fire with glowing bones.
Whoa.
That would explain why I keep burning through every mattress I've ever tried, and why I've been reduced to sleeping on that slab of pumice in my room.
I always wanted to ask about that, but you just don't. That's not something you just broach with somebody. You are just eating your Honey Nut Cheerios. You're like, hey, B-Rye, why you burning beds? Why you made of fire and glow bones? That's just, you don't bust that out on a brother. That's fucked up.
I thought you slept on the pumice just in case of a flood, so you would float.
Well, it doubles in that regard,
It's
So wait, it's pumice? That's the rock that floats?
Pumice is the rock that floats. I remember that from the Magic School Bus.
Right on the magic school bus!
Remember that time they went in that kid's ass?
Get ready, kids! We're going straight up Arnold's ass!
I'm sure Carlos will tell a dad joke about it, but then later be quietly traumatized.
Well, that seems like a pain in the butt. Carlos! Ah! As the bus is sliced in half by the powerful rectum.
Arnold's mighty rectum.
Hey, this is a small town. We're probably going to know each other for a really long time. It's going to be weird going through like middle school and high school and community college with some dude whose ass we've been inside.
Well, it gets less weird as years go on. When you're young, it is weird, but as life goes on and you accrue more experiences, it gets a little less weird.
But still, to be in someone's ass in that sense.
Okay, well then you're right.
I think it's just a safe bet to say that the Magic School Bus does not take place in Texas.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
You think the Texas parents, with their family values, or really anywhere in the Deep South, Texas isn't really the
Dude,
Deep
fucking
South.
Anywhere!
But do you think they're going to be signing that permission slip for school? We're going to be going to some kid's ass.
First off, I'm sure Miss Frizzle was operating way off the cuff.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a single permission slip involved.
Permission slips meant nothing to her.
Yeah.
This is a lawless teacher land.
I'm not even a teacher! She's just an elaborately dressed janitor that nobody stopped. Because she has an omniscient bus. Omnipotent bus.
A god bus.
Yeah, a god bus.
I believe it was also omniscient.
It could see everything. Well, no, the omniscient one was the lizard.
How is it
yeah.
omniscient?
It's omniscient because the bus is omnipotent, the lizard is omniscient, and Miss Frizzle is the vessel through which they both operate.
Oh, okay.
They're the true villains of this story.
They're the
And
real
that's
Holy
why
Trinity.
it was their goal all along to kill Arnold on Pluto. And
Arnold killed himself.
Hey, that's called coercion, Adam.
She gave him the means to do it.
Go ahead, Arnold. You know no one likes you.
Why is she Mickey Mouse?
Well, because this episode's sponsored by Disney, B-Right?
So you can chalk this episode up to the nostalgia bank for 20 to 30 somethings. Only 90s kids remember hearing their parents curse the names of Ken Starr and Janet Reno. Also Pogs. Crazy Bones. What the fuck were those?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what they were. A great way to fucking trip and fall, kill your parents on the steps at the top of the steps. They're like, check out my sweet silver crazy bone. It's got that wild marble effect. And your parents are like, what are you talking about?
Check out my golden werewolf, Mom. Ah!
And then at the bottom of the stairs, you see your parents' crazy bones as they got fucking compound fractures.
That was a plan all along. Custom bone.
You can fortune tell off your parents' bones.
I just figured Crazy Bones were just great for stepping on in your sock feet in your room.
No,
Especially-
that's Legos.
You know, Jaws is one of the best Crazy Bones, not only because he was rare and cool looking, and I mean he's a shark, but you could also lash him to a stick for a makeshift arrow in the apocalypse.
Is that what he looked like an arrow?
Arrowhead.
I can't remember them Crazy Bones by name.
Jaws.
They had names?
Yeah, they had names. Like, didn't you? You had some, right? Like,
I had one. I had the golden werewolf that I got at a McDonald's Happy Meal.
on a field trip.
Yes, on a field trip to McDonald's.
From the Magic School Bus.
Yes.
That was your field trip. You were briefly a kid in Miss Frizzle's class.
Uh-huh.
All right, everyone, let's go to McDonald's. Everyone have their golden werewolf.
I forgot mine. Arnold.
Arnold gets turned into a literal golden werewolf.
But he's immobile because he's made of gold.
Oh, yeah. All he can do is
just-
shriek.
Yeah.
He just looks fierce and then falls over the loud clunk.
He would weigh thousands of pounds.
Yep.
Like, I had a Crazy Bone, too. It was, its name was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And it was just a picture-perfect molding of Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Full size.
Full size. It was a Crazy Bone. It was made out of the same weird plastic. You could... Actually, I would love to see that. Like, I'd really love to see a real-life size Joseph Gordon-Levitt cast in Crazy Bone plastic, and then, like, at the top of a large hill, like, try and throw him as hard as you can and just watch him bounce around Crazy Bone style. I'd enjoy that.
Was there a game associated with Crazy Bones?
There was.
You played for keeps, man. It was fucking intense.
Sometimes you played for keeps. The one time I played for keeps, I was nervously coerced at the lunch table into playing for keeps. I actually won, and I won one that I liked. And then I never played again, because I'm the kind of gambler who, like, you cash out when you fucking win.
Yes.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
You don't ride that shit.
Nope.
That's stupid.
Riding the wave is a gambler's fallacy straight to hell.
Might as well throw your money and your Crazy Bones straight in the toilet.
Well, that's where Jaws belongs, in the water.
To answer your earlier question about, like, their names, at least the first, I'm sure all of them had, like, every run of them had this, but you would buy, like, a little pack of them. It was like a plastic, thing, and you ripped it open, and the ones that I bought, much like the mystery figures of stuff today, it's like you couldn't see through the plastic, so you couldn't cherry pick out, like, the best ones. You just had to, like, you got what was in the pack.
Yeah,
And
so like Pokemon
dupes.
cards.
Yeah, exactly, like Pokemon cards. And that was the way things were done back then.
Do you think the Golden Werewolf was the equivalent of a shiny Charizard?
The Golden Werewolf was also fucking massive. Like, compared to regular Crazy Bones. Like, your Golden Werewolf, from what I remember of seeing it in your room, it's like 2 or 3 inches tall.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah.
Like, the Crazy Bones are like that size. Like,
like the size of your fingertip.
yeah, they're not large.
Yeah. And, like, I remember Crazy Bones being, like, kind of, like, small even back when they were popular.
Yeah.
I don't remember them being large, so, like, to imagine a 2 to 3 inch
Well, those
Crazy Bonerton.
Those were clearly the tie-in ones from, like, McDonald's and, from fast food places, so that they couldn't be, like, regulation size. Banned from tournament play.
They were part of the crossover with Big Bad Beetle Borgs.
Yeah.
That... okay. I have some fucking words about that show.
I still never explained how I knew what the fucking names were.
Yeah.
They came with a little fold-out sheet. And had pictures of them with
okay.
names under it, and the shark one was named Jaws. Okay, that's the end of that dumb story.
Oh, well. They do the same thing for Jelly Belly Beans.
It was actually very similar. The game
delicious,
in question that you also mentioned was played by lining them up on the table across from your opponent, and then you would flick them at each other.
Yes.
I don't remember how you scored points or won.
I think you just knock them all down.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
I'm gonna.
Okay. Quote on the 1990s wiki. Written by Frankenstein Controls.
Before he died, Steve Jobs was actually working on developing an artificial intelligence capable of playing the Crazy Bones game.
Then he died of crazy. Then he died.
He died of crazy bone cancer.
Big Bad Beetle Borgs.
Yes.
Just thought it'd be like, Big Bad Beetle Borgs.
Even when I was a kid, like, I watched it because it came on Toonami, and it was great.
Really?
Yeah.
It's on Toonami?
It was like on early Toonami.
Are you sure? I thought that was like a Disney thing. Like their, whatever their Saturday morning...
You thought you were sure you were thinking about IGPX?
No.
Or no, Fox Kids.
It might not have been on Toonami. I just, like, my memories from that time all run together. But I do remember watching it after school.
Yeah.
So, like, it might have been on before school, but also after school. Like, they would just air the same day's episode at, like, 3. But, like, even as a kid, I remember thinking... Like, I'd watched a couple episodes. I was like, this is cool, you know? And, like, even as a kid, I was like... The fuck is this about? There's like Power Rangers robot men, but also the Mummy.
Yeah. So
and Jay Leno as a ghost.
Yeah. What the fuck? Like,
and a werewolf that always wanted to eat them.
What possible coherence could the story of this, the overarching plot narrative of this possibly have been?
I mean, I'll fucking tell you the relevance. None. I saw that it was on Netflix like a few years ago.
Uh-huh.
Like, and I was like, well, I'll try an episode of this. It's Beatles. It's Borgs. Those are two things I love.
Mm-hmm.
I love Beatles. And I love cyborgs.
The Borg.
I love the Borg.
The Borg.
And so I said, let's do this. So... I went in there sort of like thinking like this would be like a Power Rangers-esque sort of experience where like there's these kids and they live like a double life where like, you know, they're gotta deal with school kid problems, but also...
It is that, but also the Mummy.
Yeah,
And...
so like within the first like minute of the goddamn episode, these kids who you have no connection to show up in this haunted house. Uh-huh. And the haunted house has like ghouls and werewolves and... fucking mummies and other shit in it.
Uh-huh.
And then, like, it's a fucking fever dream, dude. I was like, what? How are we getting fucking Beetleborgs out of this? What is the ghost Jay Leno come in and say, by the way, I will wave my chin at you and you will become the Beetleborg. And then fucking, okay, he doesn't do that, but might as well fucking be. It makes no goddamn sense. The show is a clusterfuck of the highest variety, and like... I love weird shit. Don't get me wrong. I love weird shit. But that's fucking too weird. That's too rich. I gotta fold very quick. Oh,
was your first exposure to it as an adult?
Yes.
Like what? That is crazy because I watched it as a kid.
Well,
yeah.
like, I knew of the Borg boys because, like, my cousins had action figures of the Beetleborgs. And I was like, these are fucking awesome. These are way cooler than Power Rangers. Fucking look at them. They're neat. Never saw the show. Never got to see it until my adult life. Where I'm like, it's Beetleborgingtons.
Yeah.
And that was when I was running low on shows to binge because I had already... I was doing a really extensive animation gig, and so that gave me a lot of time to watch shit in the background whilst I did it. And so first I watched Gurren Lagann, and then I was like, I want something from an American perspective now. And so I watched Batman the Animated Series, all of it, including the shitty 4th season. And I was like, now I'm sad. Batman Beyond, hooray, it's over. Now I'm sad. Batman the Brave and the Bold. This show is fucking great. Oh my god.
Don't you mean outrageous?
Outrageous that show was. And that was a great show. And then after that I was like, I would need more superheroes. And I watched Justice League and then Justice League Unlimited. And then Big Bad Beetle Borgs.
Just a precipitous drop.
Quite the leap.
Just all this good quality stuff. Just the peaks and peaks of all this great entertainment, and then just Big Bad Beetle Borgs.
It's funny you mentioned it as being like fever dream like because there were times as a kid where I was like, I'd be like sitting at school and I'd be like, did I dream that shit? Like, that's the show that I watched, right? Like, I didn't make that up somehow.
It does seem very, like, it seems like something a kid made up on the fly, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, and there's a ghost, man, and his chin is real huge.
His name was Flabbergasted. Yeah,
Wait,
I remember that.
His name is past tense?
Or like Flabbergast.
I think it was just Flabbergast.
Flabbergast?
Was it Flabbergaster?
This is an Undertale.
I wasn't making an Undertale. I wasn't doing an Under thing.
Too late, you already did.
Yeah, you gotta quit referencing the Under things.
Quit taking your under things off, Taylor. Nobody wants to see or hear that.
They hear my penis?
Your audible, loud penis.
I like to imagine my penis makes that, like, noise that, like, the loons make at like, a pond.
Why?
I don't know, because it's fun. Just what noise does your dick make, huh?
It just screams.
Generally pretty quiet.
Just whip it out. What have we done?
There was something funny over the weekend. Liz and I, well, actually this was like the last weekend, Liz and I were putting together some little care packages for some of our friends, and she had used like the
condoms.
the foot of our bed.
Ew.
What? It's funny. She just hangs them up on strings
I'm gonna throw up.
in front of the doorway. So, like, when you open up, you're like, hey, gang! And you're, like, caught in this spider web.
Ugh.
I'm sorry.
It's dumb.
It was way funnier in my head than when it came out. Which is what the condom said, too. I'm sorry, I hijacked your fucking sweet story, B-Rye. I'm an asshole.
No. It's just
B-Rye's like, no. As he's like, he sounds nice, but he's actually like looking at me with like death eyes right now. You don't know.
I'm
They're
used
wide.
to it.
They're wide with evil.
I was gonna say, if I had a low tolerance for clownery, I wouldn't live in this house. But anyhow, she put them all on the foot of our bed. The boxes, not condoms or anything.
Yes, the boxes. We're back to not stupid reality.
And like she took a picture on her phone to show me for posterity because I was here. And so, like, there's all these boxes with stuff getting put into them at the foot of our bed. And then in, like, the top right of the picture, like, off slightly into the distance, is the door slightly open a crack, and out in, like, the darkness of the, like, half in the darkness of the hallway is just spooky.
Cats, man, they love fucking photobombing stuff.
It's funny.
Is there food in those boxes?
Exactly. Well, I think she was also annoyed because the boxes were stacked and were being worked on at her favorite sitting place at the foot of the bed, and she was like glaring because of that. But it's
I'm jealous of my boxy brothers.
It was just funny.
Puts me in a box. Puts me on the bed. This is where I belong.
Overweight command cat.
Spooky, we don't have a box you can fit in. We need a piano crate.
Speaking of pets, I was reminded of one of your favorite pets from your childhood.
Oh, fuck.
Taylor.
Woody?
No!
Little guy named Woody. Tell us.
Okay, so I'll tell you about a dog who sucks!
Sucked, because he's probably dead.
Good. I hate this dog. So, let's roll back the clock to the dawn of time and sing this song about Woody. So, my dear sweet mother, she fell in love with the Beagle breed after a cute dog named Snoopy fell into our lives, and he was a bit mischievous, but he really chilled out once we got a second Beagle named Clea, who was kind of a terror until we got the third Beagle, and then she chilled out too, and then Snoopy like ascended into like near sentience. I'm pretty sure he can understand human speech and thought, and it's just he was one with the dog world.
I imagine he's just walking around in like orange and yellow robes.
Yes, he was the Snoopy llama.
There's some guy watching like a monitor, like there's like a shitty like 90s monitor with like the glowing ass cathode screen, and he's just like, my God, it can learn.
I swear, man, Snoopy got really fucking smart. But anyway, this isn't about Snoopy or Clea. This is about Beagle number 3. Everybody's favorite asshole, Woody. Woody was a mischievous piece of shit who everyone hated, and we insisted on keeping him alive instead of being like, oh no, Scruffert fell down the gun! Like, and I know, well, Taylor, you should have just trained him better. I didn't live there. I didn't live in the house, so I couldn't like spend time to train him. I just had to deal with his horse shit every time I went over to their house.
Over to Woody's house.
Oh yeah, it was fucking Woody Harrelson's house then. I'll tell you that much. So Woody was this real like petulant kind of naughty for a dog. Like, there was this guy. Like, first off, he ruined like a $6,000 painting.
I didn't know about that. I only knew about the.
Yeah, like my mom was setting up her studio, and they somehow got this crazy Icelandic painting by this guy named Kjarval. Mm-hmm. And like, she's like, I'm gonna set this painting down in the studio whilst I go get my tape measure and level and go to make sure this all works out. I'll be right back, to no one. And then when she came back, there's Woody standing like the fucking beginning of a Looney Tune, his head just poking out. Fucker.
I was. He fucking did that. How'd he get his head through it?
I don't, like, because he ate his way through, I assume. I was only told the story. I didn't get to see the painting because it was, like, put away in shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
God damn it, Woody. You destroyed President Garfield's death mask.
Woody! Is that the Shroud of Turin you got in your mouth? Put it down now! Woody! And Brian, my brother Brian, also has a great story. So Brian is a soul of simple loves, and one of those loves is Reese Puff cereals. But Brian doesn't always get Reese Puff cereals, so it's extra super special when he gets it. And, I mean, he could just buy some, but he doesn't. But back then, it was harder because, you know, low-income students, all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
So, we went to visit one time, and my dear sweet mother had thought ahead and got some Reese Puffs, and Brian was ecstatic. And it was already ate into a little bit by my other brother, Eggert. But, so Brian poured himself a big old bowl one morning, and with the last of the Reese Puffs, and he's like, "Thank Christ, there was still some left. I can enjoy this. Oh, look, a distracting thing. I must go and tend to it."
Oh, look, Woody has started a fire in the other room.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
By way of distraction.
Brian tends to the thing, and he comes back, and there's Woody standing all 4 feet, standing on the table, face deep into the bowl. And then Brian's just like, "Woody!" And then Woody, like wrenches his head out of the bowl, and then, like, Reese Puffs and milk just go back into the bowl. And then Brian did not appreciate this demonic act by the thief of joy known as Woody. The fucking self-esteem vampire that is Woody. Anyway, what started this whole thing was one time I was my dear sweet mother was going to Iceland, because that's where my step family is, in Iceland, and she's like, "Hey, house sit for us. Take care of the animals. In return, you can throw a party, because we trust you guys to not be complete assholes and ruin the house. So, you know, fair's fair, right?" And I was like, "Sounds good. Fucking
Oh, is
all
this
right."
the story that I'm thinking of, where I was in attendance?
Yes. So I invited a whole bunch of my friends over, and by whole bunch I mean like, what, 7?
There were, like, at the height of the party, there may have been 10 people there.
Oh my god! But there were an okay amount of people, all things considered, and so we were all shopping beforehand for the party, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I saw, like, I was just in the beginning of my adult life where I'm like, I can buy things and not feel bad about it.
I like the idea that, like, all these things that I was given sparingly as a child and were special treats and were the gatekeepers were my parents of, receiving this joy. Now I'm a fucking adult and I can buy my goddamn own and eat it when I feel like.
Exactly. That is exactly what came over me, Mr. Rye, because I saw in the distance like a glaring light of glowing $12 goldfish.
It was the giant sort of milk carton shaped
Yeah,
it's like
milk
a foot
carton.
tall.
Yeah, milk carton as big as your torso.
Yeah,
And,
it was fucking huge. I was like, oh, and it was $12, which I wasn't exactly the most wealthy young man at the beginning of my adult life. So $12 was a lot of money, but I'm like, you know what? Fucking worth it. I got me a fucking goddamn torso of goldfish.
I egged you on because I wanted them too.
Yeah, you're like, you should get him, Taylor. I'm like, oh, I should get him, Taylor. And so I did, and I was super excited for him. But the evening came and went and was interesting and fun, and I was distracted. And I didn't get to eating my goldfish. Not a one. So...
Nor I, for that matter.
Yes, nor B-Rye. So the goldfish were untouched, pristine, or so he thought. For the next morning, lo, did I see in the front yard Woody lying in a torn-up goldfish carton on the lawn, belly up, and he's like, oh, yeah. He's rubbing his belly. He's licking his chompers. He's getting them off. He's got a big old boner for all I know. And I'm like, you fucker! My $12 goldfish!
He was...
And he ran. He knew exactly what he did. Fucking tormentor he was.
He was really far out. Like, their lawn was huge.
Yes,
and he
we
was
did have a
far
big
out
lawn.
in the distance. Like, it had the building anxiety of, like, the tense scene in a thriller.
Oh,
where
God.
you see something far in the distance that you know is probably going to be the body of the missing person, or, like, a horrible crime scene. Or even, like, Band of Brothers, when, there's been an air raid and someone's just been blown open and their guts are everywhere. And it's
Jesus.
one of your squad mates, and, like, it's going to be this horrible, revelation as they're running towards it. And then it just is. And the distance was sufficient to create that effect.
Yes, and I ran over him like, you motherfucker!
I also want to elaborate about the first time I met Woody, which was, of course, that very same party. Because our group got there slightly earlier than other people.
Yes.
We just sort of waited around while everyone else, got there, and we just dicked around the property and the house and
As you do.
general merriment. And the property at that time of this house was large enough to warrant the possession of a golf cart-like vehicle called a Kubota. Mm-hmm. And I remember...
Picture an off-road golf cart. Boom, you got it.
with like a pickup bed in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember you, me, Travis, and Steven all piled into that thing. We were driving around your property, and we were just, going back and forth through the fields. And we put the dogs in the back of it for some reason. I think
It's because they want it up.
they just wanted up. They're just following us the way dogs do.
And we're like, oh, it's puppies, come with us.
And I remember we're driving along. I'm in the bed holding on to the roll bar, and Woody's down by my feet. We're driving along with no catalyst whatsoever.
Max speed, mind you. This thing, we're rolling at like probably 15 miles an hour, I'd say.
And
So-
there's no bird, no squirrel. Nothing happens. Nothing changes. Nobody throws anything. We're just rolling along, and all of a sudden, Woody stands erect, his ears pricked up, and he leaps wholesale out of the bed and just does a
Like, does a doggy barrel roll.
hits the ground rolling at full speed, ears flopping, legs a tumble.
Got us all scared shitless that we killed our mom's dog.
Yeah, we're gonna have to shovel him into a hole real quick and pretend that he ran away.
Oh, Woody ran away. We ain't seen him. We better go print out the lost dogs. Do not return.
Isn't that pretty much what happened to him?
No, it isn't. So basically, long story short,
He was killed in a knife fight in Juarez.
no, long story short, my parents had to move, and when they did, they couldn't bring any of the animals. And so, like, I think Clea went to a family friend's house. Snoopy went to a, so, like, beagles are hard to home, and
Yeah.
especially hard to put into, like, an animal shelter.
They require more training, and it's like, yes, shelter keeper, I would like the loudest dog.
And, like, shelters don't really, get beagles out of there, and they don't get old dogs out of there, and Snoopy was both of those. He was an older beagle. So there was a place called the Beagle Farm, and it isn't a place where it isn't the back of the barn where you shoot the dog.
I was gonna say, was it upstate?
It was not upstate, but it legitimately was a place where people take in beagles and take care of them.
Yeah, I want to take a moment to point out that that's a lot like how when our cat Cecil stopped getting along with the dog and peeing around the house, we gave him to my grandpa, and it's worked out phenomenally. Grandpa and Cecil get along very well, and I was actually just visiting them on Saturday. But my friends would come over and they'd be like, "Where's Cecil?" And I'd be like, "Oh, he's with Grandpa now." And they'd be like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "They're not dead. They live over by the high school."
Oh man, that's really funny.
Anyhow, upstate.
Good. Oh yeah.
Shot Woody in the back of the head with a .22.
I wish, but no. So apparently, Snoopy went to that place, and I think Woody did too.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was like, he doesn't deserve the good ending.
You can always rest assured knowing that he's the only dog to ever go to hell.
And subsequently, the box art of all DVDs that say all dogs go to heaven.
Yes, asterisk.
It's definitely
Woody
Oh.
was thusly amended.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing about Woody. This story's sort of gotten popular amongst my friend circle, which is there was one little pleasure that one little bastion of sanity we had with Woody, which was this dog had a way that you could short circuit him. And that was my cousin Sean found this out because he was like just making this noise to be check out this noise I can make.
Yeah.
And it's when you can do that thing. Anybody can do it if you try hard enough. But it's like you can add you can sort of have two voices at once, sort of. I'll try and do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it'll show up on the mic or not.
Try it.
But essentially it's something like like that. Well, I can't do it when I'm leaning over.
Mongolian throat singing. But...
Yeah, essentially, except not like
Yeah.
like and that would just Woody would trot in place, but only with his first 2 feet, and he would look left and right frantically, and he would be really low, and he would just be super fucking I don't even know how you describe a broken dog other than saying what I just did.
Yeah.
But you would break Woody for a few seconds when you did that kind of shit. And oh, how I enjoyed it. It might have been the calling of I don't know, a banshee to him or something. maybe to a beagle, an irresponsible asshole beagle, because Snoopy and Clea didn't freak out. It was only Woody who did that. So I was just like, yes, writhe, squirm for me, you maggot.
The noise disrupted the evil spirits inside of him.
Yeah, for about a moment. He's like, I'm free.
Yeah.
Oh God, oh no, it's coming back.
All that movement was him just trying to regain control. Gotta escape.
Fucking devil Woody. But and then you know what, to close off the story, we came back a few years later to drop in on the friends who adopted Clea, and she got real fucking fat. Real fat.
Yeah.
Super fat. She came up and she's just to us, and I fucking lost my goddamn mind when that happened. The Saunders family thought I was insane because this, they're gonna see their old doggy that they abandoned, that they had to leave with us long ago, and then stop messaging me, cut it out. Sorry.
It's Woody.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's Woody. It's Woody. check the picture I've attached. And then it's just a picture of a ripped up carton of goldfish.
It's just a text from Woody. I lived, bitch.
I was gonna say, check the picture attached to your car when it's on fire.
And then next to the car is a ripped up carton of goldfish also.
Yep.
Just just goldfish are strewn all over the ground near the burning car.
Yeah.
Illuminated and casting long shadows from the flickering flames.
Goldfish shadows.
You just lost your shit when your fat dog came up.
I mean, that's the end of the story, really, is that the
that why
dog
you
was
find
fat.
spooky?
It was hilarious. What?
Is that why you find spooky so funny?
Well, I mean, it's just I naturally find over fat animals hilarious.
Was she as fat as Spooky or fatter?
I would say that she was the dog version of fatter than Spooky.
Wow.
Yeah, she was a fucking sausage. It was great. It was the funniest goddamn thing.
My
Her
parents.
eyebrows were fat.
My parents' neighbors have a small beagle, and she's so fat that when she looks up at you when you're petting her, she can't breathe properly. So she'll look up with longing in her eyes, and she's just like.
Oh my god.
Adam, you just reminded me
Uh-huh.
of another magical pet.
Yes.
A friend of mine's dog, who was aged to say the least.
Yeah.
So, I had a friend in high school, and whenever I went over to his house, the first thing that would greet me is the world's oldest dog. It was like a Scotty dog or something like that.
It was a Methuselah Terrier. They lived to be over 900 years old.
In dog years.
Yeah, 900 dog years old. This dog shows
So
up.
10.
And he still thinks he's spry and with it, and he tries to be the stalwart guard dog. So whenever a visitor shows up, he comes up barking at you. But he's so old that it just sounded like. And I couldn't believe it. And how is this dog barking dust? He's amazing.
He'd jump at you, and then one of his paws would just snap right off. And there wouldn't be any blood or anything.
Yeah.
Just a clean break.
Oh, I thought you were going to say sand. It's not coming off.
No, it just snaps right off. And then, you visit the same friend, the next week, and the paw's back on, and there's no explanation for it.
That's because it's just a detachable doggy. Buy your very own detachable doggy at the Disney Vault.
There was a song called Detachable Penis that my dad liked.
Detachable penis.
Oh, you know it. You're familiar.
Yeah.
I think everyone's dads like that song.
All dads love detachable penises.
There's 3 things dads love.
See, that's how they get dad dick.
Yeah.
Is once they're older, it's detachable, and they can just replace it with a bigger one anytime their kids are around.
Have we discussed dad dick
No,
on
we
this
haven't.
show? Well then, guess what? We go from hot dogs to dad dongs. So, I mean, it's not like we're breaking any new ground here. A lot of people have mentioned the phenomenon of dad dick throughout the years. But if to the unacquainted, dad dick is the phenomenon when you're really young, when you're little, and you end up seeing your father nude for one reason or another. Generally,
shaving, and he left the door open.
Yeah, or you're you open the door and your dad's out of the shower and he's like, "Whoa, hey, come on, man." But yeah, and so you actually see your dad's dongle. But here's the thing: is that you're a kid, and so you're this itty bitty child. Your body is much smaller than an adult. So when you see his dong, it's as big as your forearm. You're just like, Jesus Christ, my dad's dick is huge. And even though naturally your mind grows and that's just not the case.
But your memories don't.
You remember your dad having a huge dick, even though he probably just has a normal dick.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's dad dick. Dad dick is huge.
Memories of dad penis.
That's what a friend of ours,
Copernicus J. Catholic.
Yeah, we'll call him that. Copernicus J. Catholic. Kippa, to his friends. One time, we were just hanging out with Kippa, and I forget what we were talking about.
What happened was he had been talking about the phenomenon with someone else, possibly Travis, and you came upon him out of context, only hearing the latter part of the statement he was making. And they were talking about, like, we're all getting older, you know, we're not the spry young 20 or you know, late teen, early 20-somethings we once were, but, you know, there's some perks with growing older and growing into yourself. And Kippa had chosen to enunciate this by saying the statement that you half walked into, where you said,
yeah,
and Dad, he said, like, and Dad Dick. I can't wait for Dad Dick. Dad Dick is huge.
And when I heard that, I thought, my mind went to Dad Dick being some kind of media phenomenon.
Dad Dick,
man, I can't wait for Dad Dick to come out.
Have you heard of this new thing, Dad Dick?
Yeah, you heard of Dad Dick?
You heard that? Did you see the newest episode of Dad Dick? It was huge.
There's a great new app from Elon Musk called Dad Dick.
That reminds me of that one time where we were talking about my plans for if I ever won the lottery and my useless expenditures.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I ever won the lottery, naturally half of it's going to a charity of my choice. But the other half I'm going to use to, like, bail my friends out of debt and all that kind of shit. And then, but naturally, the lottery's a lot of money. And so what I wanted to spend some of my lottery money on is real dolls. But not just any real doll.
Uh-huh.
I want to get like a wax museum-esque collection of real dolls modeled after sitcom dads.
I can honestly say I wasn't expecting that at all.
Can't wait to have a Bob Saget real doll.
Yeah, I want a Bob Saget real doll. I want a Carl Winslow real doll. I want Uncle Phil.
Everyone makes love to Raymond.
Yeah.
No.
I want, yes, because like these real dolls are made with incredible skill and like it's really fucking creepy and weird.
Wow,
and what better way to use this?
You can see
for wrong, for evil.
You can see every pore on Red Foreman. Wear his ass for a hat.
Oh, God! Just get fucking...
Commission a novelty Cotton Hill.
Oh, God. That'd be horrifying. It'd be like those CG renders that people make of, like, those realistic Homer Simpson.
Yeah, straight into Uncanny Valley.
Hopefully I get a good enough real doll maker to make Uncle Phil. Just bring out his eyes.
That's going to be expensive one. He's pretty big.
Well, you know what? I won the lottery.
Yeah.
So money is no
Money is
object.
no issue when you're talking about Family Dad sitcom. Real
but I'm calling it my dad doll harem. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And so basically what I plan to do with these real dolls is like, I plan on commuting with them. Like, so I can get in the HOV lane. So I can have Uncle Phil in the front, and then, like, I don't know, Dr. Huxtable in the back next to Bob Saget.
What about Gomez Adams?
Yes, Gomez will sit in the middle seat. And he's like, Gomez, you're riding bitch. And I would also, like... I would, like, take them to, like, golf courses and, like, put them on the golf cart next to me. Just, like, have Gomez Adams chilling with me in my golf cart. And then, and then like, when one of the beer girls or just other players are nearby, I'll, like, shove Gomez out on a particularly steep hill. And just watch people point in terror as Gomez Adams fucking... And this can't be the TV Gomez. It needs to be the Raul Julia Gomez from the movies. So... Raul Julia tumbling down a golf hill, hopefully landing in like a sand trap or something.
He lands into a water traffic, gets immediately bitten in half by a crocodile.
It's what Fester would have wanted.
Yep.
But yes, that's always been a fantasy of mine. And fantasies don't always have to be sexual. I mean, this one is. I'm just saying that they don't need to.
You will fuck them.
Yes, I will. God, that's horrible to say. I can't even finish that sentence. That's disgusting. Except for Raul Julia, because for him it was Tuesday.
I also have an idea for idiotic sex toy
Oh, fuck.
splurgings. I want a whole bunch
That's the
of
wrong choice of word.
Yeah.
Sploogings, I think.
Yeah, splurgings. I want a whole bunch of custom body pillows or dakimakuras with a printed image of myself on them. Like it's just me in my normal clothes on the front, but then when you flip it over, it's me in a coffin.
Oh my god! B-Ryan, I'm going to steal what you said earlier. Out of all the things I was expecting, that was not one of them. Oh my god! He in a coffin.
I call it like Final Adam pillows.
You must purchase the Final Adam.
Or the alternative is a like an actual sexy one where it's like me sitting there in a lithe pose, and when you flip it over, it's the same pose, but now I'm in lingerie. But there's like half-eaten food everywhere, and I just look really confused. Like eyes half open. There's like Oreo crumbs all over my face. There's a half-eaten donut.
There's some 3D
candy wrappers all over my like legs and arms.
3D Doritos all over your neck.
I think I could do a limited edition release where at first it's just me like smiling, giving like a thumbs up, and then the back is just my hands on prison bars. I'm just in jail.
Are you wearing your normal clothes or a prison jumpsuit?
I'm wearing my normal clothes, but they look stained and torn, and I look confused, and I have like about
like a black eye.
Yeah, and like 3 days beard growth.
So my body pillow.
It's gonna be.
No, my body. Well, go on. You say it.
It's gonna be you sitting. You sitting in a beanbag chair, angrily yelling at a TV on one side, and then you flip it over, and it's you in the process with motion blur crashing a motorcycle.
Wow, that's way funnier than what I was going to suggest. Which is just, on the front, it's just me holding a lighter or a match. And then on the back is just a, like, full, like, the entire length of the pillow is just, like, a cropped photo of the Hindenburg exploding. But I like yours better. Motion blur motorcycle accident is pretty good.
And, like, your face or what's visible of it is, like, there's abject terror, right?
He's like, ah!
You're actually fearing for your life as you crash this very dangerous motorized device.
It's like a spike trap right in front of you.
Fuck yeah.
Hurling into.
Did you guys ever see those cool pylons that, like, the big metal cylinders that they have, like, come out of the ground at some places, like, as a gate instead of a spike track? They just have, like, shunk, big solid metal poles. It's fucking brutal. It's awesome. I also want to know what the weight limit on those are, because I want to get a bunch of people to stand on them as they rise up.
Yeah.
Actually, that reminds me of something ridiculous and stupid that I saw the other day, which was, I made the mistake of watching television.
Always a mistake.
Mm-hmm. And...
See a Young Sheldon commercial?
No.
I saw some over the weekend.
Yep.
At my parents' place.
Yeah, everyone tune into NBC or CBS or whatever in the fall, because they're going to start showing Young Sheldon, the prequel to Big Bang Theory.
And you can't stop them.
You can't stop them, and you have to watch it. It's mandatory.
And I was twice disappointed, because I thought this was like a Pokemon prequel called Young Shieldon. But anyway, I made the mistake of watching television the other day. I can't remember for the life of me where I saw it, but it was a Red Bull sponsored parkour competition. And they like got some crazy like hillside south, like probably Brazilian town that they painted all white because they didn't want people to know the squalor that they're interrupting. And
it's in the middle of Venezuela.
God, maybe. I'm not sure where it is. All I know is it's hillside, so like, and it's albeit a very interesting looking location, because like all the houses are like one-storied, but the angle of the hill makes it very stair-like, but also like incrementally stair-like, so it creates
terraced
all these
is the term.
Terraced, yeah, it's very terraced. It's incredible terrorists. No, it's got terraces everywhere, and it actually creates a very cool look. And then they got a bunch of people in parachute pants to do goofy flips off of, and I'm like, this is like watching a skate video, but everyone forgot their skateboard.
That's how parkour began.
Yeah.
In the era of extreme sports.
Tony Hawk was just like, shit. Here, hold my beer, I'll do this myself.
He just does a perfect triple backflip.
Well, I mean, he can do it on a board. But yeah, and like, some of the moves they were doing were cool. Most of them looked like what you would try to do when you got your Razor scooter for the first time. You're like, I'm gonna fucking do tricks off this curb. Watch me, Dad. Oh!
Damn, that's a trip to the emergency room.
Good. I spent $99 on this Razor scooter, and now I get to spend $199 sewing your ass up in the hopsicle.
Only 90s kids will remember hurting themselves on toys.
Dude, okay. Did you guys have a fixation on the wheels of Razor scooters like I did?
It
No.
was fun to like spin and look at.
Well, yeah, because they're like that cool, clear...
Were they the 90s fidget spinner?
No, they kind of... The Razor scooter wheels were this, like, very pretty, clear acrylic or something, plastic, rubber, I don't know what it was, but, like, they were all these nice colors, like red and blue and green and clear. The clears are my favorite. Mm-hmm. It's just like...
Clear is my favorite color.
Clear is my... What is your favorite color?
Clear!
I had a friend back in middle school. For those at home, Monty Python and the Holy Grail was kind of popular, actually, during my 6th grade to 8th grade days. I don't know why.
Might as well.
But, yeah, like, all the kids knew about that movie, which is really weird considering that movie it has the Castle Anthrax scene, where all the nuns are like, and then the oral sex, and shit like that. So I'm like, why are all these... Wait a second, we're all 6th graders. Why are we watching shit like this? But you know what? The rest of the movie's fucking hilarious, so...
You know, when I was a kid and I watched that scene, at the age of, like, 8 or 9, I thought that oral sex and, like, phone sex was the same thing.
You thought it was oral sex.
Or just, like, you know, you're speaking the sex.
Oh, sweet summer bee ride.
Yep. I distinctly remember having that thought while watching that scene, and I was like, I could ask Mom for clarification, but I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to have this discussion.
I'll just play the guesswork here. But Monty Python and the Holy Grail, there's the part where one of the knights comes up and is like, what is your name? Sir Robin of Camelot. What is your quest? To seek the Holy Grail. What is your favorite color? Blue. No, yellow! As he's launched into the pit. My friend thought and insisted upon the fact that he said clear instead of yellow.
Like in that angry, positive way that kids do.
Yeah, he's like, no, he says clear. Clear is his favorite color. And as he said that, it all clicked in my mind. And I'm like, that is way funnier than yellow. Your favorite color being clear is super funny. I love that. So it's been like a headcanon of mine from this point forward that Sir Robin's favorite color is clear. Oh, I love that, man. Dude, it's like the little mistakes we make as kids can actually be really fucking funny, just like that. Yeah. And like, do any of you guys have sort of like any kind of misnomers or anything like that you had as kids? Because my mom, a long time ago, she used to think in Jingle Bells. My mom used to think they didn't say one horse open sleigh. Mm-hmm. She thought they were saying one whore soap in sleigh.
What a festive Yuletide tradition.
Ah, yes. Soap her down to hookers. When Santa Claus comes to town, that's when you got to soap up them hookers.
Well,
and then slay them.
And then slay them. Well, for the sacrifice. Where do you think he gets all them presents?
You gotta slay that soapy slut.
Santa slaying soapy sluts is the miracle of the summer.
There are loads of things like that throughout the entire throughout the entirety of my life, and I can't summon any of them right now. I'm sure I'll think of a bunch once we're done recording.
Yeah,
and
it's like that always the way.
Like, more of them come to me every year, where I'm just like, oh, that's what that fucking was.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck.
A lot of them are song lyrics.
Song lyrics. Mm-hmm. Yes. Fuck, I got a lot of those. But then again, I also create those now as, like, entertainment.
Yeah.
I also hate when, like, you really like a song because of one lyric in it, and then that lyric is wrong.
I mean, one song that I've always liked, and I didn't get the lyrics wrong, was Synchronicity 2 by The Police / Sting.
Mm-hmm.
And the line, every single meeting with his so-called superior is a humiliating kick in the crotch. And then it echoes, crotch, 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 crotch. Listen to the song. You too will be enlightened with Sting's crotch echo. And much like the fading echo of Sting's crotch, we too must fade into obscurity for another 2 weeks, folks. Because Frankenstein Controls is coming to an end. Well, I mean, it's not coming to an end. This episode is coming to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Come back. Don't end us. Oh, God. I just remembered, dude.
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.
Oh. Hey, I'm okay. You guys okay? Oh.